Hi everyone, Emily Teacher here, and today we're going to read together the story, The Great Pyramid. Over 2,000 years ago, a Greek writer named Antipater made a list of what he called the 7 wonders of the world. Only one of those ancient sites remains today. It is the Great Pyramid in Egypt. So, these ancient wonders of the world, right? We can't see them anymore today, but there is still one that we can see. Those are the Great Pyramids in Egypt. Let's learn about it. The Great Pyramid is located just outside of Cairo. It was built by one of the earliest kings of Egypt, Cheops. Cheops intended this pyramid to be a tomb or a burial place for himself. It covers an area bigger than 100 football fields and stands 450 feet high. It is the largest of the more than 60 pyramids in Egypt. The Great Pyramid is made of 2.5 million blocks of stone. Some of them weigh as much as 15 tons. The pyramid's surface was once covered in shining white limestone and was perfectly smooth. Over the centuries, most of this outside layer has been stripped away, very little of it is left. So this pyramid is ginormous. It's so big and so heavy, made with over 2.5 million blocks of stone. So you can imagine how heavy all that stone might be. And it used to be very smooth and shiny outside. But over the years, over time, that outside layer has gone away. So now if you see it, it's not going to be very smooth looking. It may have taken as long as 20 years to build the Great Pyramid. The stone for the great blocks came from nearby. The white limestone for the outside came from the quarries near the Nile River. The blocks were floated across on rafts. They were then dragged up a ramp of earth. The ramp was built up in stages as the work progressed. Skilled stone cutters worked all year on the pyramid. Other work was done by farmers who worked for a portion of each year. The farmers probably worked from July to October when the Nile overflowed its banks and flooded the fields. Workers believed that their king Cheops was a god and a descendant of the sun god Ra. They felt he deserved this magnificent tomb. So they had to get the stone from nearby places, like the stone to build the great blocks. And then for the limestone, they got it a little bit away from the quarries that were close to the Nile River. So the Nile River is a very big river. It overflows every year for a part of the year. So for the people who worked on it, it mentions farmers probably worked from July to October. So farmers have to work in the field to grow the food. But during this time, the water from the Nile would have overflowed onto the fields. So the fields are covered in water. The farmers cannot farm. So instead, they would have worked on the pyramid. The interior of the Great Pyramid contains many rooms. The rooms are connected by passages leading to the outside. King Cheops was laid to rest in one of the most spacious rooms. The Egyptians believed in a life after death. They left food and drink with the king's body as well as many precious objects he had used in daily life. The Egyptians believed he would need these in the next world. So they believed Cheops was a god, so he should have this grand resting place for after he died. But they also had to put a lot of gold and food and drinks and things inside the temple because they believed that after he died, he would have another life and he would need those things. The chamber in which the dead king lay was closed off with huge granite slabs. The Egyptians wanted to be sure that people could not gain entry into the room. In spite of this, however, intruders later found a way in. They stole the gold objects and the jewels that were inside. They even made off with the body. The Great Pyramid failed to keep Cheops' body safe, but it has kept his name alive for 4,500 years after his death. So, people ended up going in and stealing the things and even the body of Cheops after he had died. So it didn't keep his body safe, but still to this day, many, many years later, we still remember Cheops' name because of this Great Pyramid. Thanks for listening today. We have links related to each article, and if you want the link for this story, you can find it down in the description below.